It is well known that the health of the community often depends on the health of the small business within it. That's one of the reasons Congress passed the $2.2 trillion CARES Act. That also includes nearly $350 billion for small businesses. But is that huge amount of money enough? Joining me is Tim Jeffcoat, the District Director of the Small Business Administration. Tim, thank you for joining me. Is the SBA out of money for the moment as far as the Paycheck Protection Program is concerned?
Yes, we've depleted the $349 billion that was appropriated in the CARES Act for the PPP program. That was depleted yesterday. And right now I know that Congress is busy talking about another round of financing. We don't have an update at the moment on whether that's going to occur, but I'm always optimistic.
What have been the biggest challenges about this whole process? So we've known that there was going to be a stimulus coming. The question was what kind of stimulus it was going to be and how it was going to be impacting?
The challenges, probably the biggest challenge, which I actually think we did a brilliant job at the SBA, is taking a 800-page act and turning it into action in a very short period of time. So, the act was signed on March 27th. And then the first loan applications were being accepted on April 3rd, the morning of April 3rd. We were actively engaged with helping the small businesses in Houston, as well as the lenders in the Houston area, understand how to navigate these waters. We started back on March 18th doing public webinars to educate businesses about what could be coming and how to get ready for what's coming. And to date, we have done about 125 webinars. Well over 20,000 people attended those. Most importantly, including a bunch of lenders that we've been training aggressively so that they would be ready to respond to PPP. And I think the results speak for themselves. Texas has gotten the #1 position in allocation of PPP money. The last numbers I have show that we are at least $1 billion ahead of California.
So even with that number, there are small businesses who are still out there and they're saying, well, it's difficult to get through the challenges. What do you tell them, that small business owner who's having challenges maybe getting through the system to even make the application?
Okay, good point. Well, so far as the system itself, what we're doing right now, we're still doing our public webinars. We've reduced how many, but we are still doing them so that we can teach small businesses how to be ready, assuming there is a second round of funding. I'm always optimistic. I don't see the benefit in being pessimistic. So I believe there will be more funding. And as soon as those gates open, we want those businesses ready. So as we speak at 9:50, there is a webinar going on right now to educate small businesses on how to do this. So we're trying to get them prepped. Also, in the meantime, really important resources here in Houston. There are about 250 free mentors and counselors to help small businesses. So if you haven't gotten any of this funding, this is a great opportunity to connect with them. They work with the SBA. They can help you get ready for next rounds of funding that may occur. And they can help you with any other plans that you should put into place to succeed through this economic disaster.
It is a disaster of large proportions as far as the economy is concerned. How quickly do you think this $350 billion, which has been applied for and gone, what does that tell you about how much more might be necessary to get us back on track with small businesses?
It's hard for me to speculate. I was listening this morning on a radio news broadcast from one of the presidents of one of the Federal Reserve offices, and he was indicating that small business is one of their #1 priorities. He was using numbers of $50 billion. Now, whether that occurs, I don't know. But he was using huge numbers for what he thought was still necessary to get small business on track and to continue to support the economy. I know there's a lot of need here in Houston. We have served a large number of customers through the SBA lender community here in Houston, but there's still many more that I'm hoping and I'm praying that can get the support that they need.
We're going to continue more of our conversation on Houston Newsmakers Extra. Tim, thank you so much for what you do, and we'll talk more on the backside of this, okay?